Hello, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Hello. How are you?
Good, good. Yourself?
Well, trying.
Ready for
Ready
another
for our game. Yeah.
another nice
Another night.
nice lesson for our
Spectators,
viewers.
Yeah.
All right. So we play here with Peter Tolk.
Yeah, it was a very interesting game because I used to play from time to time. I played this line for black also. I not always, but from time to time it's interesting to play with black. And after d5, e5, this is a little bit different because if black wants to play Benoni, the normal move here is e6 or g6, and that comes to a Benoni line, normally, or d6 also. So after e5, knight c3, d6, e4, and now bishop e7. This is the small difference. Instead of being with the bishop in g7, like in any King's Indian, black puts the bishop in e7, and we have a little bit a different line, you see. Okay, and now after g3, castle, bishop g2, knight bd7, knight f3, knight e8, castle, a6. He tries maybe to start a tactical game by sacrificing a pawn with b5. Of course, white doesn't agree and plays immediately a4 to stop this idea, a4. So g6, bishop h6, knight g7. Well, everything is theory until now. Is a little bit better for white because white has a little bit more space in any kind of position. And now, this is well known. I played already something similar a long time ago against the Czech international master Janata in 1963, and it was our decisive game. By winning this game against Janata, I was almost sure to become world champion in 1963. It was a very beautiful game.
I remember, yes.
Yeah, we show it already.
Yes.
But the line played by white is actually very good even after so many years. Knight e1, knight d3. This is the main idea for white, to put the knight in d3, and later on, with the knight in d3, you have both possibilities to put the pawn in b4 or the other pawn in f4. Therefore, the knight in d3 is very good. So, okay, after knight e1, f5, black could play instead of f5, bishop g5, but after taking in g5 and queen takes g5, f4, white was already a little bit better all the time, So, okay, after f5, knight d3, and now he played bishop f6. Again, if he played bishop g5, the same idea, you take, and f4, advantage for white, in any case. Okay, so now after bishop f6, queen d2, now it's clear white is a little bit better, more space all the time, a little bit. Okay, king h1. It seems that white is preparing something on the king side, but in reality, white wants to play on the other side, on queen side, starting to open the game with b4. This is the idea, to play b4. Or a5, maybe, another line.
So he was expecting you
He was expecting him. He's trying to, to put a very strong defensive line here with black.
But you are actually looking on the queen side.
Yeah, white is trying to come immediately with a5 or b4. This is the idea. Okay, rook a7, and now f3, preparing. It seems that white is preparing something on the king side, but in reality, always has a very good center after move f3. f3 is a very strong move because gives a very strong center in any case. If black, for instance, tries f4 or f takes e4, always better for white, in any case, in both cases. Okay. So now he waits again, rook e8, and now bishop e3, back, of course. Bishop has to be on the other side, central position. And now knight f8. Again, he waits. He's very well prepared to see what happens, of course. And now it's time to open. Okay, and we played b4. The alternative was, instead of b4, a5 immediately, giving a pawn for the moment, but then recapturing the pawn with advantage in any case, So, okay, after b4, he had this good move, a5, which forces a decision, Now you have to decide what to do with white, White is clearly better, but you have to continue, you see. Okay, knight b5. Again, very good. He played rook a6. Okay, now taking in c5, takes in c5, and now is the moment. Now white sacrifice a piece for 2 pawns, but very strong initiative, you know. After these moves, d takes c5, bishop takes c5, we have the 2 central pawns against a piece. And, okay, white has the initiative and tries to move on, you know, to have always a little bit better game and so on, you know, we'll see. But it's not so easy anyway. So, of course, he tries to control the central squares, the central black squares, of course, knight e6. Now you have to move back with the bishop, of course. And now that was his hope. I mean, bishop e7 controls the diagonal, the black diagonal, and doesn't give you the possibility to advance immediately the pawns. Therefore, it's very good, bishop a7. Bishop e7, pardon. And now f4, opening completely the position. Now, okay, what to do with black? If he takes in e4 on f4, in any case, white is clearly better, you know, very strong initiative. So he played bishop b4, queen b2, and knight c5. Well, it seems that more or less he can control. I mean, he has some counter chess here with black. But it's not so easy again. It's not so easy for both. I mean, I took in e5 because I didn't want to give the black bishop. In reality, I could take immediately in c5. He could take with the bishop, and then f takes e5 with 3 pawns against piece, but giving the black bishop, which is a very strong piece. I didn't want to give.
So if you're giving the bishop,
yes, we take the third pawn.
You take the
third pawn, which in reality must be good. You know, of course, 3 against piece is very good. But it's better if you can keep the black bishop, is even better. You know, so, okay, with initiative, of course. Okay, knight d3, queen a2, and now everything again is almost forced. I mean, he took back the pawn, but now white has the good possibility to advance finally the pawn. So c5, of course. Well, now the pawns are moving, you know, and it's not so easy for black. It's very, very unclear and very difficult. So he took, I took, and now the position is completely open, you know. So he played bishop f5. Until now he defended very well, but still white is clearly better, you know. Better central positions, and the pawns are very, very dangerous, the 2 pawns, you know. Okay, queen d4. Now this knight d7. He comes with the last piece in, you know, trying to do something with the second knight. And now finally c6. And here, probably he thought that he escaped. I mean, it's a very good position anyway, because now it seems that both knights are very well posted, you know, central squares. And he tries to take maybe the initiative. We are both in time trouble here already, you know. A little bit more quiet was probably knight f6. White is still better, clearly, but it was another possibility. Now after knight c5, which threatens knight b3, white gives, you know, a rook in f5. I mean, rook takes f5, he must take. And now finally we have this crazy position here, where white has his rook down, white.
White rook down, yes.
Yeah, but actually the position is almost winning for white because it's very open and the black king is very weak in this position already. Yeah. So, okay, probably the only move, because if he takes in c6, he loses immediately. The bishop takes, rook takes, and queen d5 check and wins, you know, for white. I mean, if it takes in c6, takes in c6 with the knight, bishop takes, rook takes, queen d5 check, recaptures the rook and winning position for white.
Yeah.
Okay, so knight e4. So now what to do? Of course, we have to advance, you know, d7. And he played knight takes c6, very big time trouble, I told you. And now queen d5 check, very strong, of course, and king g7. And now, of course, you can take in e8, but we take in e8 knight, not queen. You know, this is the winning plan, you know.
Yes.
So d7 takes in e8. He has to take back, of course. And now the winning move, knight c7. Now what to do? Has no
good square.
Square for his
For
the
the
black queen, you know. The only move is queen c7 or queen c8 probably, and after queen c8, we can take in a6 and we continue the attack, you know, because all the black pieces are on the other side, you know, much too far, of course.
Yeah.
So now he took in g3. I mean, he tries something desperate here, you know, to have some counterplay finally, but it's too late. So he took check in h5, bishop h2, now knight e7, trying to get the rook in h6, you know, that was the idea.
Yeah.
But now check in e5. It was very nice here because if he played, for instance, you see, with the king in g7, it seems that for the moment he can still defend with rook f6. But after rook f6, black is lost immediately. After this strange move, g4. g4. Now what to do? If he takes with the pawn, he loses the queen.
Yes.
If he takes with the queen, knight e8 check and finish. You know?
Yes.
So
yes.
he resigned, of course. I mean, he played instead of rook f6, he played bishop, king f8, pardon. No,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
That was the possibility. But instead, he played king f8.
Yes.
Yeah, check, king f8, and knight takes a6 and black resigned.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was a very funny game. I mean, all pieces were hanging. I mean, white sacrificed here and there all the time, you know. And everything was correct. And that shows the force of the central pawns. You know, the two connected pawns are always very, very dangerous.
Not
in
even
some
three pawns,
kind of
only two pawns.
Only two, but in some kind of positions, they are even stronger than a rook, you know. You can see, because they are moving and very, very dangerous, you know, in all kinds of positions. If the position is open, of course. I mean, the black king was much too open. And therefore, everything was possible, you know. It's a very, very beautiful game. You know, beauty prize, of course. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.